last time you guys were on your way back to Thebes. Turn in the seed. You got that artifact, the first artifact that you were told to get, and you retrieved it well. Moonsy's character's mom is trapped within that seed, the goddess of harvest, and you're just bringing her back to Thebes. That was the plan. And as you got back, you were kind of traveling back, and you stopped in the forest one night to get some rest, and you met a guy named Victor. He's an elven man who was like a massive hunter in the area, and one that was really talented. And he had been attacked by some kind of special bear called the apex bear, and he had been hunting it. And so you kind of let him stay at your camp and just kind of got to know him a little bit. He's got a family back in Thebes, and you kind of discussed with him about the world and the area and how much the quest that he's on might be worth and all that good stuff. And he said, hey, let's all do it together. I'll split it with you. And you kind of became friends with Victor. He's a silver-haired, very kind elven man. And you guys went back to Thebes together. You were real close already, so you head back to Thebes, and on your way there, you arrived at the top of a hill that overlooked the city and saw that the entire city had been destroyed, turned to rubble, ash, and flames. Buildings fallen, people extinguished, gone, skeletons left in their place, very few people left. And in the center of the city, a large crater, which seems to have been where the original explosion happened. And that's right where Romulus put his lair too, right in the middle of the city. So that explosion happened right in that area. So you guys ran into the city, and you saved a couple people from some rubble. You saved some people who were just barely alive, or who had somehow escaped the damage. And you got some survivors. You've got a young elven girl. You've got a, Casey tried to save someone who was completely almost burned alive, and that person just kind of keeled over and died, unfortunately. And then you saved a kind of younger woman who was trapped under some rubble. So you saved a couple girls, and you have Victor as well, being a survivor from the city. And you found out Victor's family looks like they were completely obliterated in the blast as well. The family that he had told you about, it was hard to tell how many bodies were there, but you could for sure tell at least one adult female body that he was holding on to, which would have been his wife. So unsure about that. But the little girl you saved, Fergus, was someone that he knew. It was like a friend of his daughter, like a school friend of his daughter. So there's a connection at least there, where they kind of embraced each other and hugged, that they at least saw some familiar faces. With that, you guys went to where Romulus normally is. You headed towards the fountain where you met him the first time, looking for him, looking for answers on what happened. As you went down the spiral staircase into the room with all the statues in it, you found yourself face to face with a decapitated corpse of Romulus laying on the ground, burned to a crisp. Most of the room completely intact except for all the statues which had been destroyed. All of them had been destroyed and turned to rubble. As you approached the decapitated body, there was nothing really left on him. But a mouth opened up beneath you all and began to speak to you. And it told you that you have 1 week to reach the South Mountain. Otherwise, this creature, presumably Gormak, the God Slayer, is going to kill your families and destroy your lives. That's what he said. Now, as I told you guys, you remember, Romulus told you that Gormak doesn't know much about you. If he did, you'd already be dead. So your families, this is probably a bluff, as you guys know. And Romulus also told you that this might happen to the city, that the city might be under siege when you come back. Now, you guys took quite a while doing your side quest, taking down the slave owners, which means, depending on if you hadn't done that, you may have gotten back here in time to save more people. But it took you a long time to come back going on that side quest. There are consequences for your actions. You saved some people, but others died because of it. So keep that in mind as you go throughout the story. When you're doing something, that doesn't stop the other events in the story. So keep that in mind as you're playing, just like any other game with time-based quest. Okay? So keep that in mind. Last thing I'll say is, and where we last left off, is Leon, as you walked over to the statue of your father, Lytropius, a large snake serpent-like creature, You walked over to that statue and you saw that there was a small golden scroll sticking out of the rubble. And you all remembered that Romulus said he would leave you with a clue on to where to go next. And so, Leon, we last left off with you opening up the scroll, and that's where we're going to pick up today. Everyone, this is Blood of the Immortals, episode 10. Thanks for being here. Let's roll the intro.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Many years ago, before the gods were locked away in relics and scattered across Sarotha, they walked among the mortals. The people loved them, and they loved the people. So much so that children were born. Demigods, blood of the immortals running through their veins. These children have been kept hidden from those who would do them harm, hidden from those who would kill them. Like me. But fate has a funny way of bringing us together, like moths to a flame. And if I sow enough chaos, if I burn enough cities, those demigods will have no choice but to reveal themselves. And once I've taken care of them, there will be nothing standing in my way.
Right now, and so I just like
And this motherfucker was making me laugh because he was like calling smokes, and I was like, "Oh shit! Oh
That made me
no!
laugh.
Pain,
All right.
So funny.
pain."
So, Leon, in your
Yeah.
inventory, you now have a scroll, and it is in your Discord DMs. You can read that out loud if you'd like, or you can just read it to yourself completely and, not share it with people if you don't want to. But the rest of the party is kind of standing around you, waiting for you to say something as you open it up.
So I'm kind of.
What does the scroll say, Leon? You don't have to tell us about it. God damn, I want to know.
Just a minute, little man. Just a minute, little man. I'm skimming it. I'm skimming it. I can only read so quick. These big eyes can only do so much.
His words were that he'd leave you a clue.
Yeah. Okay. So I've got some news. I got some news for you, little man. Got some news for you. It's. Do you want the bad news or the less bad but still bad news?
Definitely start with the bad news. I think we should decide on this as a group. I reckon
Just
the
rip
bad news first.
Rip off the bandage. So Romulus is. So, I'm gonna be honest. I'm a little bit of a loss as to which is the worst of the two newses. My father. I believe my father is dead, if I'm understanding this correctly, which is a lot to unpack, frankly. And argue that's probably worse, but Romulus is most likely dead as well. Would you like me to just read verbatim what he had to say for us?
Yes, please.
I'm trying to. Forgive me. I'm trying to process this. This says, Leon, if you're reading this, I'm most likely dead. I'm sorry. Lytropius, your father, is gone. His relic was destroyed, lost to the trenches of time. You will never find him. You could travel to the end of the world. You could travel west, north, south. It does not matter. None of those directions would lead you to him. He is still with you, though, somewhere, deep in the darkest caves of your heart. He resides within you. Use your skills, Leon. Use your past to guide your future. You'll need your allies, your sisters and your brother, to help you on this quest. Your soul is an island, and with each new wave, the sands on its shores erode. Don't lose hope, because everyone from the far reaches of the west to the jungles of Jurassir are counting on you. Lytropius is counting on you. Bravery, endurance, adaptability. This trident of skills will reveal all This trident of skills will reveal all to you. Do not fear, do not falter, and do not give up, no matter what you've heard from me or anyone else. Romulus. So,
I'm gonna post that link. I'm gonna post that picture in the chat now, in the D&D group thing here in the Discord for you. So, in the Blood of the Immortals chat in the Discord we're talking in right now, you'll now see the letter from Romulus. I'll also post it on the stream here.
Your daddy's dead.
sounds like my daddy is very, very dead, actually. Thank you for that. Definitely not mourning.
You're welcome.
So, to all of you, this golden scroll is pristine and magical, which means that no magic can destroy it. At least from what you can tell, it has been protected so that it would not be destroyed in any blasts or destructive nature. Romulus seems to have known what was going to happen, or at least prepared for it, in that he has left you this clue onto what to do next. Take a really close look at it, because you know Romulus to be a bit of a
I just
almost.
want to highlight a sentence. I really want to highlight a sentence here. You will need your allies, your sisters, and your brother, singular, to help you on this quest. Why would allies and sisters be plural but brothers singular? Something to think about, Colin Smokes.
Well, Leon.
I know. I was doing it for the
for the riff. I see. I don't have any like siblings that I'm immediately aware of. I'm trying to think if it's they're siblings that I'm not aware of.
Technically, you are all siblings because the gods are all siblings. So because you're all demigods, you're all technically siblings.
Oh, so that's you, little guy.
But I like that you're taking close looks at these sentences. I want you to keep doing that. This note's going to be a big part of today's session. So everyone, if you want to see that, look in the Discord. Everyone can take a look at it. I'm also got it up here on stream.
So something I noticed immediately when I was reading the letter is that he mentions you could travel west, north, south. It doesn't matter. None of those directions lead to him. East is omitted from those four. So east is missing. So maybe we have to head east? Question mark? What are we thinking?
Ooh.
It just seems like a weird omission. Like Romulus is clearly not dumb. Like he would know to he would know the four cardinal directions, and it is weird to specify those three because wouldn't you just say like doesn't matter where you go, you won't find anything, rather than be like you won't go if you go either of these three ways, you won't find anything. I don't know. That's the lead I can think of.
I'm just gonna, since this is still everyone's kind of first D&D campaign, or most people's first D&D campaign, I'm gonna tell you, good, you've got one of the clues. There's a lot of them in this letter, though.
There's a lot.
So work together on it. So, so far you've got east is a direction you need to go.
So, Commander, would you mind sending me the map of Zerotha one more time?
Yeah, it's actually in the same spot in the Discord where we're talking. If you scroll all the way up to the top of the Blood of the Immortals, information, I'll at you right here.
Oh, I see it. Yeah. Okay. So we're in Thebes right now. To the west of us. Okay, so there's nothing to the east of us, with the exception of the ocean. And then Jurassar is down below. Let me look at the letter one more time. I'm connecting the dots. Your soul is an island, and with each new wave, the sands on its shores erode. Ever over the far reaches of the west. Yeah, I honestly think, okay, so my soul is, quote, an island. My father is, so Lytropius is deep within me. Therefore, I feel like to the east of us is an island. There is Jurassor, which, if I'm looking at it correctly, appears to be an island in of itself. I think that's where we need to go. As of right now, that's my lead. If anyone else has any other input or thoughts, that's what I've got.
I think that's a good judgment. I think we should set forth.
Yes.
So you have deciphered quite a few clues here. So looking east was kind of the first big clue, which got your eyes looking at the map. Then you connected to Jurassor, the fact that Jurassor is an island. Here's what you guys know about Jurassor. This is the base knowledge that everyone knows. So Jurassor is an island that has been uninhabited for well over 1,000 years. Nobody that you know travels to that island because it is way out of the way. Even in your time as a pirate, Leon, nobody went near Jurassor. Not only because it is a dangerous place to go, but because it is so far out there, there's nothing for people. It is an ancient jungle island, and you don't have any idea what kind of creatures or things that you'll find there. In fact, most scientists and researchers are scared to go to this place because it is just that dangerous. So, Jurassor is kind of like a old,
it's like Australia.
Prehistoric. What'd you say?
It's like Australia.
It's like Australia, exactly.
Cool. No man's land.
Yeah, it's no man's land. So you've
Outback.
deciphered that going to Jurassor is your next move. There are a couple things left within the letter that you might be able to work out. So I'll give you guys a couple minutes to talk it out as a party, and you can discuss things that you notice, things that you see in the words. Anything that stands out is probably stands out for a reason. Like if it sounds weird, it's because he's, mincing his words, or he's mixing them together, or using an analogy or something like that. It probably matters. And I'll let you know.
Cool.
If it clicks for you as a player, then I'll let you know you got it.
Okay.
So everyone should be taking a look at that note and looking through to see if you see anything unique other than the fact that you need to go east to the island of Jurassor, which you've already gotten.
So we need to find the trident of skills wherever that may be.
The thing is, they're all like not physical things, like bravery and endurance and adaptability. Maybe I'm just being dense, a silly goose, if you will, but you can't hold bravery, endurance, or adaptability. I don't think that this is a physical trident. I think this is like an idea. Or I'm just completely off base.
It's not going to be clear to you. I'm not going to tell you as your DM whether you're right or wrong on this particular thing, but you guys have gone in on a clue. That is an important clue. You're not sure whether it is a physical or not trident, but saying that is a trident is an interesting way of putting it, considering it could be called a trifecta or some other word. Trident would not be how you would describe 3 personality traits normally. So you are correct in that it's a weird way of saying that. I want you all to take a look at the last little paragraph and see if anything stands out in there that might be like just weird. Like a weird thing to say.
From me or anyone else. We haven't heard
No matter
anything
what
from
you've
anyone.
heard, though, and he's telling us all this shit, but no matter what you've heard, so I'm like, do we trust the note?
Retcon everything. Can I ask a question? So it appears like if you look at the bottom, there's like a big old smudge. Is there something on the back of this that I'm just not seeing, or am I just looking way too far into this?
As you flip the paper over, roll me an investigation check.
Okay. Let me see. It's right there. Oh God.
Okay. So
Okay, so the first one was the first. Ignore the second one.
yeah,
That
yeah.
was accidental.
So with a 1, which is a 2 minus 1 for your investigation, looking at the back of the paper, you don't see anything in particular. But you also don't trust yourself looking at it. You're like, maybe I should hand this to somebody else. So you maybe trust somebody else in your party to take a look at it. Or you could just voice your concern to the party, and one of them can step up that they want to.
Yeah. Snake Eyes, would you mind taking a peek at this real quick? And kind of hand it over.
Okay, so she says you grab the paper. Go ahead and roll me an investigation check.
Oh.
I'll take a look at it. I'll take a look.
You're
Your
really
mic's kind of
soft for
far
me,
away, Bestie.
Jinx. Your voice is really soft for me.
That's why I was like, what the fuck? But anyways, I said Snake Eyes. Okay. I'll take a look at that horse body.
Oh.
All right. So with a 15, she says you're looking along the back of the paper. Your eyes kind of begin to scan across the area where that smudge is on the other side, and you notice that this area of the paper looks like it's got some indentations as you run your finger, like your thumb, across the back of it.
On the back, so there's indentations?
Yeah,
Like
indentations. And as you run your finger,
Like Braille?
kind of like Braille, but not like Braille. Like, imagine if somebody took their fingernail and put it on a piece of paper and like.
Oh, so like somebody wrote on a piece of paper above this.
Yeah.
Right.
On top of this, and it left.
Oh!
Right.
Is there anything I can pull out to like, you know how you like take that pencil lead and like
Graphite.
scrape it across? Yeah, graphite.
One of the mushrooms or something that that crocus has. Maybe could be like a plant, like a leaf or a flower could be used, or something like that.
Do you have anything that I can use like as ink?
Would you like a leaf?
Yes, please.
There's also
God.
someone in the chat made a good point. There's also a whole burned city around you. You could use ash from.
Oh yeah, I could use
Yeah.
ash.
Oh, right. I forgot
I'll
about
just,
the whole.
I'll just brush
Silly
my
me.
hand in a pile of soot and ash and like gently swipe it across the document to try to see what those indentations say.
Okay.
Or
So
like.
before we go any further, is Jinx really soft for anyone else, or is it just me? Like, is it just my ears?
Jinx sounds fine for me now. Definitely still a little quiet, but maybe turn up the gain on your mic a little bit.
Let me make sure I don't have you
Yeah.
turned down for some reason.
Because like I can hear you fine, but maybe with music it's hard.
I'll turn up my gain. Is that 40? Oh, looks like my mic is having trouble.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was crazy.
Here, let me
Give it the old unplug, replug type beat.
It does this.
Oh.
Okay.
That
That's
sounds
so
way
much
better.
better. You're back,
Yeah.
too.
All right. Nice.
All right, perfect. So as you rub the ash across the back, you rub your thumb across where the indentations are, and it's a long message that spans all the way across the back of the scroll, but it's very lightly etched into the back. It says, "Lytropius lives."
Who's Lytropius?
I mean, shoosh.
Shoo.
Yeah. That is. Yeah, that's definitely a good sign. 2 thumbs up.
So
From
the
me.
note mentioned that Lytropius is gone, that you'll never find him. But at the very end, it also says, "Don't listen to me," as Crocus pointed out.
Okay.
So this scroll seems to have been coded for in case someone other than you were to find it. If like an enemy were to have found it or something, they would open it up. They would see a boring note to someone's, son, like for example. They would see this is to someone called Leon. They don't know who Leon is. They're reading through it. It says, Lytropius is dead. You'll never find him. They found this scroll here in the basement of the historian of the gods, the guy who knows everything. So they would trust it. They would read it and they would go, yep, that's... The Lytropius is gone. We don't need to look for that one. That one's gone, lost to the trenches of time. As he said, it's gone. We should stop looking for it if we're looking for that. But as you kept reading through and you started seeing the clues and you knew that he was going to leave something for you, you have kind of pieced together that Lytropius's artifact is on Jurasaur somewhere. And he lives.
Okay.
He is not dead. This was just to throw something off it was just throw the scent off for anyone who's impatient enough to read through the note once and move on. So that's why he said, do not give up no matter what you've heard from me or anyone else. So don't give up on your dad. He's out there.
Your daddy's alive! Your daddy's alive!
So you've figured out you need to go east towards Jurasaur to find your dad, who is definitely alive. I'll tell you, in here there is a hint to what his artifact is, and there is a hint to where it's located, like on the island specifically.
Oh, okay.
East.
Yeah, somewhere east.
So those are the last two.
I was
those are the last
assuming-
two puzzles on this thing.
I would assume it's in the jungle. Seems, I mean, they specify with Jurassic, which is to the east, that it's in the jungles. So that'd be my guess. And I'm guessing, I've got two guesses. I think one of them is like so safe that I just refuse to believe that it could be the answer. But the other one is like so obtuse that I think I'm way off base. I'm gonna go with that first. Okay, I'm gonna go with the simple one. Very obviously, there's a chance that it's a trident. However, at the same time, I think that the inclusion of bravery, endurance, and adaptability is interesting. And my dumb like puzzle solving child brain is like, well, the first letters of those three things are BEA. Is it a bean? And I just don't think that's it. So I'm gonna go with the trident.
Okay.
Could you imagine if it was a bean though?
Just a fucking bean. We're just collecting little nuts at this point, like to put in
Yeah,
a
no,
bag.
exactly.
Collecting a trail
it
mix
could
of
have
the
it could have been
gods.
Bay.
Marbles.
Oh, or Bay. We're finding love.
Oh.
We're finding love. Yay.
Okay, so you have deciphered most of this note. I will say there is more that you can uncover if you want to keep thinking about it. There is more for the location of the artifact itself. I will say it is definitely hinting that a trident is what you're looking for. You've
Okay.
You've
not a bean.
deciphered that much. It is too strange of a way of putting it for it to not be that. So you're looking for a trident in the jungles of Jurasaur, but it may be even more specific than that, than just the jungles, because the whole island's a big jungle. So if you want to keep thinking about that, you can. Anyone have anything else they wanted to mention about the note or what they've experienced down here in the basement, or things you want to look for here in the basement or look around for or do?
I want to look for clues for myself.
Sure.
'Cause I don't really know anything about myself, right? And like everybody else kind of has clarity. So I'm gonna like have a wee look around and see if Romulus has left any hidden goodies.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll
Intentionally
me an
or not.
investigation check, please. Okay. With a 15, looking around here in the shelter that you're in, you pull aside some pieces of rubble here and there. You push away pieces of the statue, weapons, stone weapons that have fallen onto the ground and shattered into a million pieces. You look underneath Romulus's body as you kind of just like lift it up just a little bit to look underneath. You search through his pockets for everything. – This motherfucker didn't leave you anything, man. 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 – This mother
bitch.
Keep ass bitch.
I don't know, I'm just gonna like frantically just search through his pockets, even though like I'm kind of like in denial, even though like I know there's nothing there. I'm just like,
You all watch Fergus as he's frantically looking through everything, looking for something as he curses under his breath. He goes, shite.
Look, Fergus, if you bring me anything, like literally any object, I can turn it into a bar of gold for you at any time. Don't you forget that, okay?
What are we gonna do with a bar of gold in the burnt down city, though?
Oh,
Hey.
I'm gonna start lifting up Romulus. So you said any object.
So,
Hey,
yes.
Fergus, just for the record, also it says gullible on the ceiling, in case you didn't notice.
Oh shit.
Does Fergus look up?
Ah, Leon, some of us still don't know who our dad is. Yeah, so you watch your tone with me, big man.
wait, what do you mean gullible? Are you saying I don't have the Midas touch?
Listen. I know who my fancy magic whatever dad is. I forget. You have a fancy magic like god mommy or father or what's going on here?
I have a fancy magic earring, and you best put some respect on its name.
God, mommy.
So, by the way, yes, Colin.
Oh wait, no, it's a finger actually. It's my
have
finger.
both.
It's not my earring.
You have both.
My earring. What does my earring
I think
do?
I'm missing
Your earring is the
something.
Midas earring. The finger is the familiar finger.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay,
yeah,
so-
yeah.
so you
oh my
actually-
God, my snake.
So yeah, let
So
me.
you
let me
actually
explain,
can
Colin.
turn
So,
things to
so
gold.
you did miss. They got
Yeah.
some loot for taking care of some of the slave traders here in the area. They took some time and took
Got
out
it.
some bad guys, and in that time they found some loot. So one of them, two of them are on Shisa, an earring
I
that
got them
lets her
all.
turn things to gold. So she can turn things into gold, but they have to be the same size or smaller than a dagger. So it can't be like a huge
Okay.
thing. She can
I
turn
understand.
small, inanimate, non-living objects into gold, but she can only have 3 of them at a time. So if she enchants 3 daggers, if she tries to enchant a 4th dagger, the first dagger loses its gold sheen. So she can only have
Thank
3
you
at a time.
Thank
It's
you for
okay,
making me
and
privy to
now-
this information.
Yes, and
That
then
reminds me, I'm going to wake my snake up. Oh, snaky baby, wake up.
it
Pull
uncurls
my
itself.
hair out to kiss it. Mwah.
It gives you a little kissy with its forked tongue.
You can keep your little snaky baby a good 6 feet away, please.
COVID
Aw.
guidelines.
I think his
Not a
rotting
big
flesh
fan.
is rather charming.
No.
I'm not a big fan of the little snaky baby.
So here's an interesting thing that happens. So I got 2 things. First, I want to mention that snake, by the way, Colin, is another magical item that she got. So
Got
it is,
it, okay.
it's like a zombie snake, and it is familiar. So it is not real. It's like a magical fake animal that she's made, and it is created from this like zombie finger that you found in one of the slave owners' pockets. So it's
Found it in his
That's
pocket.
awesome.
it never decays. It's like just like an
Pocket
old looking
snake.
finger that never decays. If you've ever seen Jujutsu Kaisen, it's basically one of the fingers from that anime. If anyone's ever seen
I
that.
think I follow now. Yeah.
Okay. So then the last item that you guys found was the hairpin that Egrid has. Egrid has a hairpin that's in her beard that allows her to fly for an hour each day. So she can Superman it out.
Shoosh.
And
That's
those
crazy.
are the big magic items you got. With that, the other interesting thing that happens, Egrid, you have the cat on your shoulder, whose name is we said
Templeton.
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 Templeton,
I love
as,
that.
as he's on your shoulders, this kind of naked Siamese cat, its eyes get real big, and it begins to hiss.
What's
And
wrong?
it's-
Oh my! What's going on, little guy?
As you're looking at Templeton, it's still on your shoulders, and you know that Templeton is a guy. It's a guy cat, so he's still on your shoulders, and he is staring at what looks like nothing. He's just hissing in a direction of one of the rubbled statues where nobody is standing.
It's almost like he's hissing at that over there. Perhaps we should take a closer look at it. I start walking towards the rubble and like sifting through it to see if there's anything there or what may be causing it.
Okay. So as you go over to the rubble and start sifting through it, Templeton hops off your shoulders and on top of the rubble. and Templeton begins to use his paws to kind of bat around some of the rubble. And as he does, he uncovers what looks like a large piece of a statue that looks like a messenger bag. It looks like it was like on a statue. One of the gods was wearing it, and it is like the messenger bag of that statue. So it was the messenger god, and it's not one of any of your parents, but just one of the gods of the pantheon. So you find that Templeton has uncovered this like stone messenger bag underneath all the rubble.
Oh my! Look at this! I guess I hold it up and show it to him.
As you go to pick it up, it's like a stone bag. As you go to pick it up, it's fairly light. You're able to pick it up pretty easily. And it's not malleable in any way. It's very rigid like stone, but it does have an opening on the top that you can look into.
I guess, can I look into it and investigate it?
Yeah, go ahead and roll me an investigation check as you look in there.
Oh.
And it's so smart. Oh my goodness.
Okay, so looking in, the most obvious thing that you see is what looks like a golden letter. It's like in an envelope, and it's just kind of laying against the wall of the inside of this stone bag. That's like the most obvious thing that you see.
Say that again, what was it?
It's like a golden letter in an envelope, and it's just inside the bag.
I guess, can I open it up?
You can try. So as you open it, or as you grab it out of the messenger bag, it is sheening in the light that's around you right now, the torch that you're holding, and it is golden. It looks like it's like literally made of gold. And as you unfurl it, there is a small letter inside that says, "Look to the west of the town, survivors."
Oh.
Oh my! It says to look at the west of the town if you're a survivor. I wonder what's over there. Perhaps we should look in that direction.
Yeah.
Thumbs up. I'm down.
So
I guess investigation?
if you want to look more deeply at the letter, you totally can. But other than that, if you guys want to just head out towards the west, that's kind of seems like a immediate.
I'll grab the letter and just inspect it a little further, just in case.
Yeah, go for it. Nothing to see. All right, so you guys.
That one.
That's okay. So you head to the west of the town, and as you head in that direction, you first, as you come out of the stairwell, you come out of where you guys are at. You're in like an underground chamber where Romulus lived. You're leaving his body there, I'm assuming, because taking it would be kind of a pain in the ass. But if you want to take it, you can. Leon would be able to hold it if he wanted to, or Egrid would be able to. Either one of you. If you wanted to take it out, you could. I just want to make sure I give you that opportunity if you want to. Up to you.
You guys want to hold a dead body?
Kind of seeing an opportunity to help and like seeing you struggle. I'm like, I've got 2 hands or hooves or available. I don't mind.
So does the group want Leon to carry the body out?
Yeah.
Sure.
We're taking the body with us?
It's a
Don't
buddy.
question it.
Okay, I won't question it.
Okay. So Leon, as you lift up the body, it's fairly light for you. With your strength, it's fairly light. You kind of put it over your shoulder. As you do, just some soot and ash from his skin kind of falls off onto your outfit, and he smells bad, like burning flesh. Again, he is a decapitated corpse, but it is completely cauterized, so you don't need to worry about any blood or anything like that. That said, you guys head up the stairwell out of the chamber with your scroll and note that you found down here, and you did very thorough look of everything. As you guys are exiting the stairwell, you hear a familiar voice, as it has been about 30 minutes since the last time that you heard him check in, and you hear the voice of the man who threatened your families, the man who seemingly killed Romulus. You hear him as you're leaving. You just kind of hear it kind of echoing in the chamber.
Attempt number 30? No. To get your attention. I think this is going to be my last attempt. If you all don't show up at the South Mountain, I'm just going to kill a random group of people until I find you. I'll burn a random house down. I will fucking end this planet.
Quirky.
Sorry, lost my patience.
Just another day in the office, I guess.
I'll be seeing you soon. You better fucking believe it.
Okay.
And that's all you hear kind of echoing in the chamber as you guys are leaving.
He's such an angry man.
I would be too if I looked like that.
Sheesh.
He does have kind of a gross mouth, which is the only part of him you've seen. You've only seen his mouth, but
Maybe we can bring a toothbrush to the mountains or something. I don't know.
They
he's
book a
definitely got some
dentist
sharp
appointment
yellow
for the
teeth
big
that are
man.
pretty nasty. So you guys head out of the chamber as you reach the top and the kind of explosion radius that you first descended down into. You see the survivors that you have saved. So you see Victor and the two girls, the young girl and the woman who you've saved from the rubble. You see them all kind of sitting on the edge of the crater that you guys have descended into. They're sitting on the edge of it about 15 feet above you guys. And Victor says, "Well, what did you all find?" He's sitting there holding on to the little girl as she looks like she's sleeping.
We tell him?
Good save. We found this guy. Kind of holding up the dead body.
Who's that?
I'm gonna level with you. If I knew, I've just forgotten the past few moments.
He's like a mentor. He was our mentor.
He was your mentor.
Right? Yeah, our mentor, you know? Our teacher.
I see.
Yeah, I kind of look down, sad, remembering whose dead body I'm holding.
Which is Romulus.
Just clocked it.
Yeah, no worries. So, as you're talking with Victor, you know that you need to kind of about face and head straight west to follow the directions of that note that you found in the messenger bag. So you guys all do that, and Victor says, "Are you all just going to head off then? Is that the plan then? Leave us here in the rubble?"
Yep.
Well, do you want to come?
I mean, there's two options. Like, well, in your head, there's probably three options. One, rebuild the city. We don't have time to do that. We gotta skedaddle. You can stay here, or you could go and find a life elsewhere, or you could join us. But this isn't for the faint-hearted. If you want to join us, you know, you gotta really pull your fucking weight, because we're on a very important.
May I suggest that maybe they can come along with us and we can just leave them behind if there's ever a battle. Like,
Or
they
maybe
don't have to fight with us if they don't want to.
we could maybe take him to like the next city.
Yeah.
I like that idea, yeah. I'm gonna simplify what the little man said and say that you have one option, and that's that you're gonna come with us until we can get you somewhere safe. I hope that's cool.
Fine. Come, let's go. And he picks the little girl up who kind of is wrestling awake. The older woman is walking behind slowly, just kind of looking back at the city every once in a while. She lets out a shudder. And you guys head west from the city. The walls have been completely destroyed. The noise of the flames and the embers behind you, the crumbling of the rest of the infrastructure of the city, all of it kind of fades away as you leave Thebes behind. Not much left. But just outside the city to the west, as you head into a small patch of forest, you find a group of about 10 tents. And they're pretty large tents. Looks like they've been put up here or been up here for a couple days. And as you begin to approach, you hear the noises of people who are stirring within this group of 10 tents. And from inside one of the tents, they're all shut. There's no people outside. You just hear people inside them. But from inside one, you hear, "Who's there? Who's come to all fucking encampment?" And
Hey.
you just hear that voice from inside one of the tents.
Oh,
Hey.
it's nobody. We're just some lowly adventurers just making our way through, not wanting any trouble.
The 10 tents all simultaneously, the insides of their tents kind of light up with light as flames are lit inside each tent. And the one that's nearest you begins to unzip its front area, and a face peeks out. It's a somewhat withered looking lizard folk. A lizard folk is kind of like Argonian from Skyrim. They have they're basically humanoid, so they walk on 2 legs, have 2 arms, all that kind of stuff, but they have they look like they have alligator scales all over them, and they have the heads of lizards. So
Have a fat
this
ass
kind of,
tail.
yeah, and they have a cool tail too. And so this one kind of peeks out. He's kind of an olive green color, and he's got a big squinty right eye. And he says, "Are you one of the attackers from Thebes?"
Oh, good heavens, no. We
Quite
would
the
never
opposite.
do such a thing.
We were passing through and when we happened to find it. Yeah.
What was left of it?
Yeah.
I see. Arms down, everyone. And as he says that, you can see within all of the tents, you saw some shadows kind of moving around, and you see within all of the tents what looks like people who were pointing what could be crossbows or bows and arrows right towards your location, all lower their weapons inside their tents. You just see their silhouettes. And the guy says, "What do you know of the city that we all used to live?" These are the survivors you're looking for.
There's nothing really left of it.
We found like 2 people, but we couldn't find anything else.
Except this guy.
For that guy!
He comes all the way out of his tent now to take a look at you. He kind of cracks his shoulders a little bit and walks up, saunters up to you. He's kind of got a sway to him, and his forked tongue kind of comes out, and he looks at you, Leon, and then looks at the corpse you're carrying. "I can't really tell who this is. I'll put him with the rest." And he reaches out for the body, for you to put the body in his arms.
Oh.
No, that's all right. We're gonna hold on to this guy for a little bit longer. He was a friend of ours.
Foolish to carry a corpse with you if you're traveling.
Well, we're not gonna travel with the dead, the charred and broiled dead body. We're just gonna bury it somewhere a bit more befitting.
I see.
No disrespect to
No,
the mound
no.
of bodies.
We've mostly been burning ours. Well,
This one's already burnt, so there's
Yeah.
not much more you could do with it.
This one is already very well done.
yes, I can see. Their
you
clothes
like
are...
blood sauce with that?
I do not want to eat the body. Don't get any ideas.
One of the interesting pieces of the body that you're holding is that the clothes are pretty intact because he was wearing magical garments. So, because he was, the historian of the gods, he was wearing like a toga basically that was magical. So it is unburned. It's kind of soot covered, but it is unburned. And he mentions the guy you're talking to, the lizard folk. He says, "It's interesting. Must have magical clothes. It's pretty rare. Well, if you brought survivors from the town, we'll take them. They are safe here. For now."
Oh, thank you.
That sound good with you two? And kind of ask the two survivors that are with us.
Free.
Yep. And Victor kind of nods his head to the two girls, and he gives the youngest girl, who was the friend of his daughter, he gives her a hug and says, "You'll be safe here. You will." And as he says that, the lizard folk says, "Victor? Victor!" He walks over to Victor and puts his hand on his back and says, "I didn't recognize you. Why didn't you say something?" And Victor says, "Well, I didn't think it appropriate. Not during these circumstances. It's been a long time." So they kind of have a back and forth with each other, and they do this kind of handshake where they grasp each other by the wrists, and the Argonian said, or not Argonian, goddammit, lizard folk says, "Well, one hunter to another. You may have taken much of my business, but now we're all refugees." And the man says, well, Victor says, "Yes, I know. But you'll take good care of these people, I know. You're strong." The lizard folk nods, and the two girls go with them. Victor says, "I'm coming with you all. There's nothing left for me here."
Are you sure?
Everyone I know is gone. Isn't that true? And he kind of looks over at the lizard folk, who says, "I have not seen Elijah nor your wife. Your daughters, last I saw, were in the market." And Victor says, "And what of them? Have you heard anything?" "Heard nothing. Seen nothing. The market was right where the blast happens. There's no way they could have survived." Victor nods his head. "And you haven't seen Elijah?" "I've seen my wife. I saw her. She's gone." And the lizard folk says, "Have not seen Elijah. No. It is possible he's alive. But if he is, he's out in the forest somewhere." Victor just nods his head. He begins kind of looking at the ground, Victor does, and he kneels down and plucks a few blades of grass and smells them, and then lets them kind of crumble through his fingers. He then stands up and puts his nose up in the air and closes his eyes and takes a deep whiff of the air. I do not smell him. He might be alive, but it's better if we don't find each other anyway. And the lizard folk says, "Why is that? Why is it best that you don't find your own son?" And Victor says, "Because I'm going on a revenge quest." And he turns to you all and he says, "Let's go."
Revenge on what?
Whoever did this, and you all seem to know. I'm not foolish.
Are we all right with this? Not
You're
to
not
be
gonna die,
cold.
are you?
We can't stop him, can we?
I mean, we can. Not trying to be cold, but like we've been through a lot, and I don't know if you fully know what we're up against. Like, it might be better. Like, do we really want to put You're almost definitely putting yourself in harm's way,
I'm aware.
and kind of giving some side eye to the rest of the group. You know, you're not quite built like us. If you catch my drift.
He says, I'm
everyone...
built different. I'm built different.
You ain't built different.
Built different. I mean, to be fair, he is one
I
of
think, you know, you guys, I think one of the biggest, most important things is, you know, a man's dream. And his dream now is to, well, since his dream was obliterated and his whole family was obliterated, his one only true dream now is to get revenge for his family. And even though he may die in the process, I think we should allow it.
There's a possibility your son is still out there. Do you not want to go find him?
Elijah will be fine. If he comes here, you'll take care of him, right? And he's talking to the lizard folk. And the lizard folk says, of course. Elijah is one of ours. We will take care of him.
This
Victor
just seems
looks
like
evil.
such a gross, like, misalignment of priorities to me. Like, I understand you're upset, but, like, family is family is family is family. And coming from the guy who, as of 20 minutes ago, both found out that my father was dead and then still alive, I can tell you that, you know, man to man, you're probably gonna want to find your son. You can't just make another. Well, you could make another, but you can't just make another son.
He nods and he says, I am aware, but the fact is, I do not sense him or smell him, and he could be anywhere. If he's alive, if he survived where hundreds of thousands died. I can't sit here holding out hope when I could be getting back at the person who did this to me. And you all know where he's at.
True.
You know, we could use him as bait.
No, he can fight for himself. You got the punching power, right, Victor?
I have that, and I have this. And from his pocket, he pulls out what looks like a miniature bow and arrow. It fits in the palm of his hand. And he says, this was in the rubble of my house. I told you I always keep a backup. And as he puts his fist closed, you see sprouts of wood come from either side of his closed fist and sprout into a bow and arrow, a magical bow and arrow. He says, you know I can defend myself. You know I can create traps. You know that I'm a hunter and I can help you find the things you're looking for. Use me and I'll use you to find this person.
Equivalent exchange.
Yep, you guys, he sold me. Bangs credit card on table.
I'm not happy about it, but the man can hang. So
You know what? If you
and
wanna
as in stay with us.
body, sure.
And
one thumbs up.
If people are down for that, then you'll have a new party member in Victor,
Oh,
the elf.
let's take a vote. Everybody in favor, raise your hand. Oh, get wrecked. What's up, Leon? Ooh.
He can't lift his hands up right now.
Leon
He has
is
a dead
sensible.
body.
Leon knows that this guy is gonna die if he goes face to face with the person that you're fighting and takes a full-on
you
hit
guys-
from them. But
Now listen, I may be alone in how I feel, but if you guys believe that this is best, I will just have to trust in your judgment, and I'm okay with that.
I just don't know how to stop him. We can't stop him. That man wants blood.
you also,
I think
Mhm.
I think this guy's old enough to know what he's doing, you know? Like
Yeah.
he clearly wants vengeance and he clearly wants suffering. So I think we should enable that, because who knows, he'd use his cool ass bow
Didn't
arm
he?
thing.
Yeah, didn't he say he was like 500 too? Like this dude's lived a fat second.
Yeah. Like it's kind of his time is coming anyway, right? Like you get to 500, like
How old do elves even live for, actually?
They can live a long time. He said that he was... I can't remember if I said he was just under 200 years old or... But he's pretty old.
Oh,
He's
it's
been
like
around for a
doing
while.
research when you're getting like a goldfish or something. How long is this thing gonna live? I don't know.
And you can just flush him if you don't. With that, Fergus, as you look over at the encampment, you see the young girl who you rescued is kind of like wrestling around with Dom as she's kind of like just playing around, and she's got what looks like a doll that he is pretending to like rawr, like attack, and she's like fighting him off with a stick, and he's going, oh, ow, 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 and they're kind of playing around. And just to let you know, this could be a good spot to drop off Dom if you don't want him to get hurt. If you want to, but if you talk to him and you say, hey Dom, come with me, he'll come with you. But he could be pretty safe here.
it's cool. I can see that, you know, he's happy he's forming a friendship with this girl. So I'll walk over to him and go, hey, Dom.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Listen to me for a minute.
Hold on. He's kind of like brushing the stick away.
Much like last time, Dom, I think it's best that we part ways for a little bit. I'm gonna go with the other guys, and we're gonna fulfill another very dangerous adventure, and I wouldn't want you getting hurt. So I'm gonna say that I think you should stay here. It looks like you're having a lot of fun anyway. You know, you've met this new girl. You guys are playing, having fun, whatever. And I think this new encampment is a nice little safe spot for you. And I promise you, we'll come back. We'll come back and we'll get you. But I think this next adventure.
Yeah, I agree with Fergus. I think this little girl really needs your company right now.
Dom
After
looks
what
back
happened.
at the girl who is sitting on the ground cross-legged, just playing with her doll, kind of brushing its hair a little bit with her fingers. And he looks back at the rest of you guys, and he kind of tilts his head. He says, I ain't gonna fit in here, Fergus. But if you think it's safe,
You already have. What?
You look around, you don't see any kobolds, but you do see a lizard folk, which is kind of like a big kobold. So,
Well, Dom, just imagine it. You know, I mean, I know these lizard folk are twice, maybe 3 times our height, but they're essentially our bigger cousins. So they'll treat you nice. We've chatted to the top dogs, and they seem like a lovely bunch of people. And I just don't want you getting hurt. I mean, if you really want to come with us, that's fine. But I think like she just said, that girl really needs company right now, and I think the best option right now, at least for a little while until I come back from my adventures, that you hang around.
okay. I'll be here. I ain't going anywhere.
Perfect. I'll miss you like always, Dom. Don't worry. I'll be back as soon as I can.
I'll miss you too, buddy. Here, take this. He pulls out a little bead necklace that he's been putting together, and he hands it to you. It's looks like it's an array of beads along a hemp string, and at the very end of it is a beautiful onyx rock, which he seemed to have snuck and procured from the first battle that you ever had together, which is the one against those lava dogs on the first session that melted into onyx. So he's procured you a little beaded necklace with that at the end of it.
Thank you, mate. I'll wear this in memory of you. I'll wear it around my neck, and in that way, no matter how far I go and how long this adventure lasts, I know that I'll have you close.
He says, and flip it over too. And you kind of turn the black onyx piece over, and it says Yeehaw engraved.
You dumb piece of shit. I love you, but you dumb piece of shit.
He says, now it's not worth anything, so you can't sell it either.
I would never have sold it. Don't you worry.
He pats you on the back and then comes in for a hug. Okay.
Okay, Dom, I gotta go. I'll be back as soon as I can, I promise.
Okay, all right. And I'm coming to get you. And he kind of comes over to the girl, and she starts laughing and giggling and rolls away from him and throws the doll across the way, and he jumps after it, and she chases after him. Okay. So, with that, you guys have found an encampment of, you can probably assume, of the people of Thebes. There looks like there's about 60 or so people left from the entire city, which had well over 100,000. The massive loss of life is staggering to many of you who have never experienced this before. And now that you're really seeing the effects of, like, the size of the difference of population, you start to realize some things around you, one of which is the smell. It's didn't hit you before because of the adrenaline, but it is burning flesh through and through, smoke in the air, making you kind of cough as you head back towards the city. Is there anything you guys want to do in the city or around the city before you head east towards the coast to find a ship to go to Jurassic? Anything you want to do in the city or around the city before you go? You've looked around for survivors in the city, but if there's anything else you want to look for, you totally can. You just gotta think of what you want and whether it would survive a blast. It's okay if nothing either as well.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. I just found out that I've had a pretty emotional hour. I realize I'm gesturing. I can't really gesture. I'm holding a corpse. But listen, I've had an emotional. It's been an emotional. I guess roller coaster also doesn't work. It's been an emotional roller coaster or whatever the medieval Greek equivalent is to a roller coaster of a past hour for me. Yes, that's it. It's been an emotional tempest of a past hour for me. Listen, I just want answers. Frankly, I'm a little bit restless about this. If we could, I'd like to depart as soon as possible. Though, if anyone else has anything they'd like to take care of, that's cool with me.
We can leave.
Yeah.
Okay, Ygritte, you good with that?
Word.
2 thumbs up.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I can't double thumbs
And
up.
then
Fergus, if you're okay with that, don't say anything at all.
If Fergus has something he wants to do, he can let me know when you get back. All right. So you guys walk through the city. One last look over. Everyone go ahead and just roll me a quick perception check as you're going through the city. This is the last time you'll be here for a while. So throw me out a quick perception check. 10, 7, 21, 18. Okay. So she said, Ygritte, not much to see.
Toothbrush.
I'm getting ready for bed.
Oh.
So she said, Ygritte, not much to see. Looks like Fergus, not much to see as well. Crocus and Leon, as you're looking around through the city, you do notice one thing, which is it looks like there is, in the rubble, kind of near the center of the city, buried underneath one of the buildings, you see what looks like a sign, a magical sign that's kind of sticking out. It's unharmed by the blast. And it says Ravenloft Magic Shop. You know that magical things, pretty hard to kill. There could be some cool things underneath this rubble, but it would take a couple hours to dig it out. Up to you. There are risks that there's not much there that you want, but there's also could be something cool there. So it is one of those optional side quests for you. It's Ravensloft Magical Shops. Totally up to you two, because you're the only ones to see it.
Right. Do we want to take the risk, or do we just want to get going? I have mushrooms. I have lots of mushrooms. Um. Hmm.
I mean, I I can't object. I think that I mean a magic shop sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it could. It
Yeah.
could be.
I think we should scope it out. Is there anywhere nearby I could bury our friend? I'm a little
Mhm.
bit at a loss. Like, God forbid it's dangerous, or God's forbid it's dangerous in the magic shop, because I would actually be rendered useless without dumping the body, and I feel like Romulus is due more than that.
Can we put him next to a tree for a second? Like, just stay here for a second, bud. We'll
Just
be
tuck
back.
him.
So you guys are kind of
aside.
in the center of the city. There's not many places to kind of bury him here in the center of the city with all the rubble and building refuse around you. But once you get out of the city, there's plenty of spots for you to bury him. So currently in the middle of the city, not a whole lot of spots to bury him, but you could just set him up against a building or just lay him down outside where you're headed, and he's not going anywhere. So you may feel a bit disrespectful about it, so that could be a moral thing, but he wouldn't even be as far as where you've taken him if you didn't find him in the first place. So you're already doing good for his body. You don't need to worry about being super disrespectful. He would be, underneath the city in a chamber that's about to collapse anyway, with no burial. So
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
okay, so you just kind of set him off to the side. You go over to where the rubble is, and you find the sign. You kind of pull the sign out from the rubble. It looks like just a big pile of kind of white/gray colored marble and rubble that you need to kind of start pulling pieces off. So the strongest of you, Egrid and Leon, you begin to kind of pull pieces away from where this rubble is, where this magic shop may have been. As you start getting deeper and deeper, everyone go ahead and roll me investigation checks as you get into the rubble. Everyone's going to be able to do this as the rubble gets lighter and lighter, and everyone can start looking through. Investigations from everybody. Classic.
Damn.
Okay.
What's happening?
So, not super great rolls, but Jinx,
Oh,
Shisa got an alright one. So, as you guys are all looking through, here's a couple things you find. So with the, let me go through here with the numbers here. So with the numbers that you rolled, Fergus, first thing you find is a magical quill that automatically has ink in it. So it automatically writes forever. You don't need to dip it into an inkwell or a jar, so you can write on anything, anywhere, anytime. So you find a magical quill. It's like a feather that can write. So
Hog?
you've got that. Crocus, as you're sifting through everything, you find one magical white glove that looks like it's part of a pair. And it looks like
Michael Jackson shit.
yeah, it's kind of like a Michael Jackson singular glove, except for for sure it has another pair. And it looks like it might be pretty useless without the other piece to it. But if you found someone like a magical tailor, someone who makes magical clothes, you may be able to have them create the other half of it, which could then give you some cool magical gloves.
cool.
Leon, you find nothing. Egrid, as you're looking through, you find what looks like a time-telling device that is supposed to go on your wrist. It kind of looks like a watch, except for it's got kind of the old sundial look to it. It's kind of got like a sundial look to it, and it doesn't look like it tells the actual time of day. As you're looking at it, it looks like it might tell a time of year. You can kind of see seasons on it. So you're unsure what it does, but it is it could fit around anyone's wrist, and it looks like it is magical in some way, although it does not seem super powerful. But it is a magical thing.
Wow. I guess I'm gonna put this on. This is nice.
Okay.
It looks like it might tell the seasons or something. I don't know. Can I like fiddle with it a little bit?
My boobs can tell when it's raining.
Mean
Really?
girls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's really cool.
They just know.
Is it like the precipitation just makes it like?
No, it's when it starts raining they can tell.
Oh, okay. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
All right. So as you put the device on your wrist, Egrid, you fiddle around with it a little bit, and you turn the dial to what looks like some snowfall on the image of this item that you're wearing. So it's got 4 images. It's got snowfall. It looks like it's got a thundercloud. It looks like it's got a flower, and the last one looks like sunlight, like a sun, so it's the 4 seasons basically. So with the snowfall, as you kind of turn the dial to it, above your wrist forms a small cloud that begins to drop snow pellets on the ground. Just small little snowdrops on the ground.
Oh, that's very peculiar.
Yeah,
Seems
it's a
that this
very
can
small cloud, about 1
bring
foot by 1 foot.
weather. Oh my. And it appears just like right in front of me?
Yeah, and you can, as you kind of aim your wrist, you can move the cloud around to different spots within 30 feet of you. So you can like put it above somebody's head, or you can use it to tell a story, or it's not a very powerful magical item, but as you flip to the different dials, here's what you can do. You can make a snow cloud, which will rain down snow in a small 1 foot by 1 foot area. You can make a rain thunder cloud, which makes a loud thunderous clap when you turn it to that dial. So it makes like a that can be heard in a loud range. So it could be used as like an alert or something. If you turn it to the sun, it's a infinite torch. So it automatically like lights up your wrist like a torch. So you don't need to carry a torch anymore. And the last one is flower. And as you turn it to the flower, a small flower grows out of the actual device itself. And you can choose between a sunflower, a tulip, or a rose.
Oh, wow.
And as you keep flipping it back to that, it doesn't do it infinitely. It looks like it does it once per day. Lets you get a flower out of it.
Oh, wow. Look
so you
at
got
that.
4 little small magical things you can do with it.
Oh, this is beautiful. I'm gonna take a sunflower out and put it in my beard.
There you go. It's beautiful.
So cute.
And then, last but not least, Shisa with a 15. As you're sifting through the rubble, the last item that you all find is what looks like a belt. It is a beautiful leather belt with nature engravings all along it. It's brown in color, and then the actual buckle is like a beautiful golden. So it's brown leather with these kind of nature engravings. We're talking like vines, flowers. It kind of wraps all the way around the outside of the belt, and it looks like it is still intact. You just blow some of the soot off of it, and it looks perfectly good to go. You're unsure what it does, though.
Hold up my pants, silly.
It definitely could be used for that.
How do I find out if it's just not? How do I find out if it's an ordinary belt or not?
It's definitely not an ordinary belt. Otherwise, it would be destroyed if it was. So it's magical in some way, and you can know as a player.
Put it on?
Yeah. So as you put it on, nothing seems to happen. It seems like it's an attunement item, like you found with the finger and the hairpin and the earring. So
Sick.
It will take about an hour of you wearing it for it to activate and for you to know what it does. So if you want to put it on, you can. Just remember that your other party members haven't quite got as much loot as you either. So if you
guys
want to
want the
be
belt?
generous, you could.
Anybody want the belt? All right, it's mine.
I'm good. I'm good without a belt.
Okay.
Okay, I don't feel bad taking the belt now.
Okay.
All yours, Snake Eyes.
Sick. Nice. What did you say, horse body?
It's not a rude thing. I did not intend the Snake Eyes thing. It is simply an observation. You quite literally have snake eyes.
I'm very aware, thank you.
You're welcome. Sure.
I love this.
I did not realize that I was being persecuted for simply making an observation.
Did I?
Look,
Okay.
people are very simple. Where I come from, we kind of just tell it like it is. Okay?
You know, I don't see difference. I don't see differences like that. I don't look at you and I don't think immediately horse hooves, right? I look at you and I think Leon. You gotta look at me and you gotta say Jisa, because I have a fucking name.
Hey, besties, let's take it a notch down here, besties. We got a ship to get to.
True.
Sorry, I apologize,
will say,
Leon.
Gonna take a step back real quick. It's okay. You know, you're forgiven. You're forgiven, Chisa. But listen, I deferred to you with the thing that I was completely incapable of reading and figuring out, because I trusted that you could figure it out, and you did. I recognized my own shortcoming and deferred to the expert.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
We're good?
Fair enough. Fair enough. I just lost my cool there. I'm so sorry. You know, my parents instilled this thing in me to be angry and pitiful, like an angry Yuan-Ti queen, but that's not me. That's not the real me. I'm a nice person, okay? I apologize for raising my voice.
Being raised in the fleet, I'm just bounces off of me. I'm numb.
I love that.
I'm broken on the inside.
Oh my god. Can we stop by a therapist or something? Good god.
I mean, we can all have a sit, have a nice little circle, have a nice chat.
Like a little chatting circle. Do we need to talk about our feelings?
We all hold hands and say kumbaya.
I can hold hands if you want to talk about your feelings.
We
gotta go.
All right. So, that said, here is what we got. So you guys leave the rubble of the magic shop behind. You found all the items you could find in that time, and you pick up the body of Romulus and you head out of the city towards the east, towards the coast. And as you head that way, you find a nice clearing in the middle of one of the forests that you're walking through. That might be a good spot to bury Romulus.
I think this is the spot.
This is a spot.
Okay.
Do it, besties. Right here.
So, what I'd like to do is I'd like to being accustomed to kind of just sleeping wherever, whenever it like works conveniently. Being raised on ships and whatnot, always kind of never really having a consistent space to lay my head. I don't really have much of a use for a bedroll. I'm fine sleeping on the floor. I'd like to wrap up our friend and with my bedroll and bury him.
Okay. Sounds good.
Give him the old proper, or as proper a funeral as for now homeless demigods can.
Of course. So as you wrap up Romulus's body, you kind of slip him into your bedroll and begin digging a hole. I'm just going to say that Fergus, you kind of start with your claws with the digging process. It's pretty soft area, but you're able to dig up a lot of it. And then once it's kind of dug up a little bit, then the rest of you can kind of continue to help dig it out using your tools and your you can use your weapons like your swords and stuff to help. You don't really have shovels, I don't think, but not a big deal as you create a big enough hole in the ground to put Romulus's body. Victor also helps as well. And you put Romulus to rest. You lay the dirt on top of his grave. And is there anything anyone wants to say or do before you leave behind the corpse?
I can't believe it. I can't believe he's gone. And Ygritte takes her sunflower and puts it on his grave and kneels down and bows her head.
As you set your sunflower on his grave, it has been kind of plucked, so it's like the end of the stem, it's a clean cut on the end of the stem. Normally there'd be roots there, but since you got it from your magical little item, it doesn't have any roots or anything on it. But you set it there on his grave, and as you do, little roots grow out of the end of it and dig themselves into the dirt, and the sunflower stands up straight instead of being laid down. Kind of stands up straight on top of his grave.
Oh, wow.
There seems to be a lot of magical energy within the ground here right now.
Oh wow.
That's strange. Seems that there's... I don't know.
Can I turn it into a sunflower field so we know where he is when we come back?
Yeah. As you kind of wave your hand across the grave and the sunflower itself, another sunflower sprouts next to it, and another, and another, and another, all the way throughout this area of trees. Even in between the trees, these sunflowers begin to sprout up out of the ground. One of them kind of sprouts up right in your face, Fergus, and kind of hits you right in the snout, and they all grow very quickly. And you have a sunflower field that is definitely out of place, so it'd be easy to find. There's no sunflower fields around here, so this would be super easy to find to come back to.
We ever find his head, we know where to bring it now.
True. All right. Last call for anything anyone wants to do in this particular area.
I would just like to take a knee before we depart.
Absolutely.
No, just...
Absolutely. You pay your respects as you would kind of a almost a superior or a mentor, kind of paying your respects in that way. Someone who knew a lot more than you and lived a lot longer than you, your elder, and someone who really wanted to help you and really wanted to see you succeed, and you could tell. So you finish up your paying respects, and you head towards the coast. Anyone have anything you want to talk about on your way to the coast? Talk to each other about anything. At this time, your item is beginning to take effect, Shisa, as you've been wearing it for about an hour at this point. And so I'll describe that to you as soon as we're done having any conversations anyone wants to have. All good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Shisa, as the item takes effect, the belt kind of cinches itself around your waist, and it's kind of like a brown leather belt, and those engravings of all those kind of vines and plants around it, they begin to kind of fill in with a green color, showing you that it's attuned now. So it's now brown with green accents and a golden buckle. And as it wraps itself around you, you understand the ability of this item, which is obviously the best item you've picked up with your highest, investigation. So here's how it works. The item can be used to cast a few different spells. So the first spell that it can cast from it is called Entangle. Entangle is a spell that druids normally get. It is a... Let me look here.
It's like a Zyro root, right?
Yeah. So grasping weeds and vines sprout from the ground. In this case, they're not going to sprout from the ground. They're going to sprout from you. So they're going to come from the belt.
Oh, nice.
So
that's sick.
20-foot square starting on you, like centered on you. The plants grow out from the belt, and each creature in the area needs to make a strength saving throw, or they're restrained. They get wrapped up by the vines. And
Hell yeah.
They can use a strength check against your the DC of the belt. The DC of the belt is 10, so they need to beat a 10 on their strength check to break out of it. So it's not too hard to break out of. The other spell that you can cast from it is Grasping Vine. Grasping Vine is a 4th level spell, so it's one of the most powerful spells that any of you guys know so far. But it takes up all of the charges of the belt to do it. The belt has 3 charges. You can spend 1 charge for Entangle, 2 charges for Entangle, 3 charges for Grasping Vine, or I'll tell you the 1 charge one. It's a simple little cantrip spell. But Grasping Vine, what it does is you make a vine that sprouts from you, from the belt, and you can direct it to lash out at a creature that you can see within 30 feet of you. And that creature gets pulled 20 feet directly towards you if they fail their dodge check. So if they don't dodge, the vine will grab them and pull them 20 feet directly towards you.
Nice.
So that could be bad for you, but also could be good for you. Depends on how you use it.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool because now I have a spell that can make people go away, and I have a spell that can make people come closer.
Right.
And that's pretty cool.
Yes, and then the one charge thing that you can do is called Druid Craft. So you can spend one charge to create any of these effects, and I'll put this in the item, but you can like manifest a golden orb that kind of looks like a like a ball of sun that you can use to like light up an area. You can make a cloud of raindrops. It's basically the same thing that Casey has on her wrist, but at a much stronger level. So you can make a little rain cloud above somebody's head that pours down rain. You can make falling snowflakes all around you. You can make a seed sprout or a flower blossom or a plant grow a little bit more. You can make a sensory effect, like you can make falling leaves or a puff of wind. You can make the sound of a small animal like a squirrel. Basically, it lets you do any kind of small little nature magical effect that you can think of.
Oh, like Aqua's water trick in Konosuba.
Sure, I don't know. Maybe. Yeah.
That's cool. Oh my god, Moonsy has a spider.
Oh, nice.
I thought that was an ant.
Dude, you're such a badass, Moonsy.
It's so cute. I got distracted. I'm so sorry, but look how
That's
tiny
fine.
it's nephew.
You've got a roommate.
Stop the press. There's a spider on Moonsy right now, okay?
Cute it is. Oh, it's a baby. It's a baby jumping spider. I think I'm gonna cry. That's so heckin' cute.
Oh my God.
I love him.
Alright.
I would not be as calm.
He's on my thigh.
Oh my god.
Okay, I'm gonna put him back on my monitor because that's where he was.
It's
Right. Put him back
it's,
where he wants
it's
to be.
Susu.
Dude, that reminds me, there's like this beekeeper on TikTok, and she literally just like picks up the hives with her bare hands.
So nice though. Bees are so sweet.
That's crazy.
You can
I've
just
seen
hold them
it.
in their
I've seen exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, and
Jane.
you're just like,
It's
how can
the
you be
worst.
so calm?
I love
Like,
hands.
Bees. I'm so sorry. We just completely derailed everything.
you're good.
But bees, real talk, bees I think are the most terrifying thing
Really?
ever. I'm
They're so
horrified.
sweet.
I know they're friendly. But there is nothing that makes me freak the fuck out. Like
gonna put
a couple of bees. I just can't do it.
Minecraft scarred you. You've hit too many bees by accident.
Dude,
I
it's not even that. It's like I worked as a camp counselor. We've had so many, like, we're around like fucking bees and wasps and shit all the time. I've never been stung by a bee. I just really don't want to be, and I just think the noise they make and the way they move and the way they look, it's just not my thing. Anyway, sorry.
You're good. All right, so with about 15 minutes left in today's session, we're going to roll forward towards the conclusion of it. So, you guys head towards the coast, leaving behind Romulus's body in a beautiful, magical area. Jinx, Shisa has a new item. That item can be transferred to anybody if you feel like it, you want to get rid of it and unattune to something else. So you're now attuned to 3 items. So if you want to attune to another item, you've got to get rid of one of the ones you're wearing or one of the ones you're using. And I'll add that item to your sheet, as well as everyone else who got an item. I'll add those to your sheets over the next week. You guys head towards the coast. And as you approach the mountain range that's right in front of the coast, you know that you're going to have to travel for about a day through the mountains to get to the actual coast. Otherwise, you're going to have to travel for 5 days around the mountains to get to the coast. So, with that, let me take a look at something real quick. Uno momento, por favor. Okay. So yeah, fastest way to get through the mountains is to go through them as opposed to around them. But you know that it could be a somewhat dangerous journey. So I'll let you guys decide if you want to go the fastest, more dangerous route, or if you want to go the slower, safer route. I'll let you guys talk it out. Looks like it's
I
paid, too.
don't know. Are you guys up for a challenge? Do you think we can weather it? I
think-
worry for our safety.
I like us to shy away from opportunities. I'm indifferent this time. I'm happy to take the easy route out and not embark. But
I feel like, given everything we've been through, what is the worst that could be in the mountains?
Yeah, what could possibly be
The
up?
flaming cornfield.
What's the worst that
from
could
hell.
happen?
Our death.
True, but you know, I raise you this. We are on a bit of a tight budget for time.
Right.
And I'd like to not. We've already. I think we can make up for not lost time, but time that was not spent on the main shebang by cutting through the mountains.
Okay.
I'm down with doing the dangerous one. I live for danger.
Okay. Victor
It's
agrees.
my middle name.
Victor says, yes, I can help us get through the mountains safely as well.
We got Victor. We're good. We'll be fine. Right? Right?
Victor just kind of nods his head and he says, I'll do my best. So, he helps you lead your way through the mountains. The way this works is you kind of see these large, gigantic mountains in front of you, a small pathway that leads between them, and then up the side of one of them, which you kind of got to go over and through a cave to get to the coast. You know that as soon as you pass through the mountains, the weather's going to be nice and toasty and coastal, but where you're at now, it's cold and snowy and not fun, especially for Fergus, who's cold-blooded. This sucks. And same with Shisa. Both of you guys are massively not enjoying your time here in the frigid cold.
I think I'm going to take my belt and just like put a sun above me and Fergus to warm us up.
Good idea. I like that use of the belt. So you create a small little heat ring around you.
thanks, bestie.
Smart. I like
No
that. That's
problem.
clever use. So,
Yeah.
On the topic of like magic items, can I ask a quick question?
yes.
You mentioned the scroll.
Mhm.
Okay, the scroll that was left for us by Romulus,
Mhm.
and you mentioned that it's like you said it can't. First of all, do I still have it?
Yes.
If not, this question is completely
Nope, you
irrelevant.
still got
Okay,
it.
cool. I still have it. So you said that it can't be destroyed. Yes.
Yeah, not easily.
Okay, interesting. So like, what could it withstand? Like, what is it meant to withstand?
It's meant to withstand like regular explosions, regular weapons. So like if for example somebody tried to light it on fire with a torch, wouldn't work. If somebody tried to cut it with a pair of scissors, it wouldn't work. If somebody tried to rip it, it wouldn't work. But if somebody, for example, used dispel magic on it, which is like a spell that gets rid of magical effects, then it would become like a regular scroll and easily cut,
Okay.
torn, ripped. If somebody cast a fireball on it, which is a high-level damaging fire spell, it might hurt it depending on how they
It
cast that
might
spell.
hurt it.
Yeah, you're not sure. It's hard to tell.
So
from
could
just seeing
I?
it.
Do you think I could like hold it up to like withstand like a beam of some description, or like could I
Depends on the
use it
strength
as
of
a
the
form
beam.
of
May I
defense?
recommend something? Maybe you can just like tuck it in your shirt, like where your heart
It's
is.
like my bulletproof vest.
Yeah, you could cover your heart with it. It'd be pretty smart.
That is actually a very good idea. I think I'm gonna do that.
You don't have
Okay.
like, pockets.
Fuck pockets. I just keep things in my shirt.
Okay. So you kind of unfurl the scroll and set it against your chest inside of your shirt, and then put your shirt tight against your chest so that the scroll is kind of across where your heart and your vital organs are. And you feel like a weak magical beam would probably be stopped by it, or at least you would take less
Hell yeah.
damage. But something super powerful, for example, maybe not. But that's not what it was meant for anyway. It was meant to withstand a blast. It was meant to withstand somebody trying to destroy it so that you would still find it. So, and it did. Whatever blew out the basement that you found it in didn't end up hurting it, which is good. So you did end up finding it, which is a good thing. So you guys make your way through the mountain trail. The wind is blowing a ghastly noise, just that as you get up to the peak of one of the mountains, one of the larger mountains. It's been about a day's travel. You've slept here and there in different spots. And as you reach the top of this mountain, you see two pathways that lead through it, or lead into the mountain, I should say. You're not sure which one goes through and which one is like just a regular cave. But one of them is one that you should travel through. The other is you're unsure. But you know that for sure one of them goes through the mountain to the other side. Is like your salvation cave that you need to go into. So one is on the left, and it's kind of smaller, and it has, as you come up to it, it looks like it goes to a steep decline inward into the mountain, like a kind of like a slide. The other cave looks like it has a flatter indentation, so it doesn't like slide in. It's just like a flat walkway into the cave, and it goes out into the darkness deeper into the mountain. You're not sure how deep either of them go, but it is completely pitch black inside, and even people with dark vision have trouble seeing exactly what's in there. So you've got two options. One of them is a little bit more permanent than the other, as it's kind of a slide that goes down, an icy slide. So you got two options. You can talk it out. Victor is there too if you want to ask him questions. This will be the last thing we do for the session today.
Ooh.
So
Victor.
wait, oh, you got it, Minzy.
No, that's fine. Victor, have you ever been this way before?
I have not, no. I try to avoid the mountains.
Not to like step out of like the RP for a second, but like, so
That's good.
just so I understand clearly, we know one of these is like basically a dead end. We know the other one gets us through.
You know, one gets you through. You're not sure about the other one. You're not sure if they both go through, but you know for sure at least one of them does.
Okay. We don't know for sure. Okay.
Correct.
I just wanted to make sure I wasn't understanding.
So you know for sure at least one of these caves will make it through the mountain to the other side, no problem. I mean, there might be problems, but at least you know it'll go through. The other cave, you're unsure if it goes through or not, and you don't know which one's which.
I mean, I feel like I'm a bit out of my element. I'm from the sea, after all, so I don't think that this is really my wheelhouse. I'd actually like to defer once again. Snake Eyes, take notes. I'm deferring to an expert. Egrid, being a dwarf, I'd imagine you have some experience with mountains and caves and tunnels and the like.
Oh, well, my family comes from a mountain. Deep beneath the mountain's core, in the stone. We
So what do you think
dwarves
about
tunnel
this?
our ways through. I don't know, perhaps it's our best bet. I don't know. What do we have to be afraid of
I mean,
that
one
we
of them's
haven't faced
important.
before?
Fair. Very true.
So you've got, we'll say there's a cave to the left, smaller cave to the left, smaller opening cave to the left, and a larger opening cave to the right. You do have someone in your party who is very intimately familiar with caves, grew up in caves, lived in caves all their life. So they might be someone to ask.
Hey, Fergus. Hey, Fergus.
Oh shit, I forgot.
Fergus,
Man,
can you
you're
speak
just
to the
so
caves?
tiny. We just forget you're there.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Well, I'm gonna ask you guys to be patient with me for 2 seconds. I just need to scuttle down this path that we don't know just yet and have a little peer down there. Let me just see what's down there, and I'll be back in 2 minutes. All right, everyone, just hang fire. If you hear a scream, run.
All right.
Other
so,
cave.
Fergus, there's one cave that's easy for you to walk into and get a good look at, and really, take a look around and see what's up in it. There's another cave that's more of a steep, slidey incline. If you tried to go in there, you might slip and fall down. But there are ways around that. Like if you want to have somebody on the outside holding a rope as you kind of descend in, you could do something like that. There are options, so you're not totally out of luck on that particular cave. So up to you.
So I'm gonna walk down the easy one first,
Okay.
and I've rolled an investigation check for that already. Just
All
kind
right.
of suss out what's there.
Yes, so with your investigation check of a 15, in that opening of the kind of easier looking cave, as you walk in, it looks like a classic ice cavern. You can see a couple things. One, you see a little bit of blood on the wall as you walk in with your 15. It is caked in ice and kind of distorted a bit on the wall, and you see some claw marks as well. Unsure of the type of creature that left the claw marks, but as you come in, you see there is a drop off. As instead of a decline, like kind of a slow decline, there's a drop off that drops about 20 feet down as you get to a certain like little shelf area, and that's where you see the blood is kind of inside that drop off on the wall. And looking really close with your dark vision, you can see inside the cave at the very bottom of this opening, there looks like to be some bones as well.
Okay, so I'm going to walk back to the group and I'm just going to say, I don't think we want to go into that big cave because there's blood and bones and a very big cavern and I cannot spot what made them. So let's avoid that cave. I'm going to go down this little one here. Has anybody got rope? Because listen, I know I'm a master of the caves, but I'm slightly worried about this incline, so I'm gonna need one of you to anchor me if possible.
Oh, I have a rope right here. And I kind of toss the rope to Fergus
Okay.
and hold on to it.
Yeah, I've tied it around my waist.
Okay, perfect.
Right.
So you're not going to have to make any checks, Fergus. But Egrid and anyone else who's holding onto the rope is going to roll me an athletics check. If we only want Egrid to do it, it's going to be much less likely that it's successful. So I would imagine that you guys would want to play this safe and have at least a few of you holding on to the rope. So everyone who's holding onto the rope, go ahead and roll me athletics checks.
Yeah, I'll roll one too. I feel like I should definitely be.
Besties, don't do this.
Jesus.
Okay. So, Fergus,
That's
as you
tough.
are
That's
sliding down the incline, this kind of smaller incline of a cave that you could all fit into, but it's just a bit smaller than the other one, is all I'm saying. I would say it's about 6 feet tall. The opening is about 6 feet tall. The radius of it it's probably 6 feet by 6 feet, the entire opening of this cave. And as you're beginning to slide down, you got the rope tied around you, you're feeling good. The rest of you on the outside, as you're holding on to the rope, everyone's holding on, including Victor, who rolled a 5 on his athletics check. You're all holding on to Fergus. Fergus, as you begin sliding down this kind of steep incline, your skin is cold and frigid as it's touching the ice, and you can hear the sound of your own breath echoing throughout this chamber. And as you look up to the opening where everyone's holding on to you, you see Egrid at the front, her eyes wide as her feet are slipping into the opening. The rest of you behind, all of your feet are slipping on the ice outside as well. You all hear a loud, thunderous and as you do, a few of you kind of jump on the outside. You hear it from the other cave, actually, and you kind of jump a little bit, and as you do, the rest of your feet fall out from underneath you as you all begin to slide down the stairs. Egrid, you're actually heavier than Fergus, so you actually slide up to the back of Fergus, hit him in the back, and now you're like on a roller coaster ride, all of you, down this ice chute. Ice Age style, and that's where we'll pick it up next time.
Flying away on a Hawaiian roller coaster ride.
All right, everybody.